The gentleman I'm entrusted with enshrining into this organization today, into the Hall of Fame, has a heck of a resume. He's a legend to me as far as a car builder and as far as a car owner. He started off at the Seekonk Speedway building and owning cars and garnering championships. It was pretty easy because he was from Rhode Island, and to talk to him, you can't tell he's from Rhode Island. While operating his auto salvage yard, he embarked in a career in racing that has spanned well over 50 years. In 1992, he started his race car fabrication and parts business, Northeast Race Cars and Parts. He grew that into the biggest of its kind in the Northeast. His shop has pumped out countless winning chassis for just about every class of racing in New England. His parts truck is a fixture at absolutely every raceway that he goes to, and at racetracks throughout the area. The knowledge, know-how, and advice that comes for free with every sale to each aspiring racer is priceless. Now this man is ready to turn over the reins of the business to a trusted friend at 65, so he can spend more time with his family and pursuing other interests. Brad LaFontaine is a man of many, many talents. It's so fitting that he's enshrined in the Hall of Fame as he steps back to reflect a bit on his accomplishments. Brad was pretty close to unbeatable as a crew chief and a car owner. When I first started to know him, he was owning and wrenching the gray number 66 at Thompson for many drivers like Ted Christopher, Wayne Dion, who we honored today. And he won many Thompson championships, one at Stafford, and that opened up new opportunities for him. Other people realized that Brad knew what he was doing. It was kind of obvious. Perhaps the finest years were when Jeff Fuller and the Scott and Patty Banzel, Sunoco number 8, and Sheba Racing. Those were his biggest years. He had 61 starts. They scored 17 wins, 34 top 5s, 42 top 10 finishes. The team won the 1992 NASCAR Modified Tour Championship. To me, the biggest thing about those accomplishments were that in 3 years the team had 10 DNS. All were due to engine malfunction or crashes. Brad's cars never broke. Trust me, our teams and every other team were praying that they would. Brad would go racing for a few years and he'd take time off to run his business and pay attention to other things. And then all of a sudden, he'd turn back up again. Every time, it was like he never left. Brad came back again with Eddie Whalen to field cars for Mike Iwanitzko, Jeff Fuller, and champion Ted Christopher. A second National Modified Tour Championship came in 2008 with the Brad and Ted combination. Brad came back yet again with Chris Orr to field cars with Tommy Barrett, Mike Stefanik. This team won at New Hampshire, Bristol, Seekonk, and Star. Brad's teams have won at every facility on the Eastern Seaboard. He's won with a small army of drivers with very diverse driving styles. He's built cars and supplied parts for hundreds of other success stories across New England. All in all, Brad LaFontaine is the epitome of a very deserving Hall of Fame inductee. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's friend, Brad LaFontaine.
Want a beer?
Could you pass me one up? It's always worked the best. Takes the pressure off. You know, Wayne talks about how I fired him twice, but he doesn't talk about how when I called him to drive my car, he made me go to a restaurant in his neighborhood with his crew, and they drilled me to find out if I knew what I was doing. How do you put wedge in a car, he says. I'm thinking, really? It's like, so he talks about me firing him, but he doesn't talk about how he drilled me to death too. We had a good relationship. I want to say that we had a great relationship. Time's just flying by, and needless to say, when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, everybody started calling me and telling me, "Oh, well, you're getting old now." And it's like, what? You don't think I know my age? You know, it's like everybody's telling you that. And it's one of the things that's going to happen to all of us here. And, you know, it's just an honor to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. One of the things as a crew chief, I feel like I've accomplished everything that I've wanted to accomplish. And that's why in 2015, when Chris Hour was getting out, I decided to get out myself. It was kind of perfect timing. He wanted to leave me everything he had, his trailers, his race cars, his motors, everything, along with all his sponsors that he had, and he had great sponsors. And I told him that I would be glad to help him sell everything because it just wasn't in my cards at that time in 2015. So that's when I really started to back out of it a little bit. And of course, Northeast Race Cars always kept me going. I was still able to hang out with all the racing people, which I love. Most of you guys are my friends, and if you're not my friend, I want you to be. But that's one of the things that Northeast Race Cars kept me involved in, was being able to build cars for people. If your car won that came out of my shop and I had a little something to do with it, I felt like I won the race with you. I'd go to the races and sit in the stands, and I would cheer all my customers on. I didn't care which customer won. I didn't have any favorites, to be honest with you. So any one of my customers that would win, I felt like I won the race. So that was easy to kind of step back from crew chiefing a little bit. But, you know, we had a great time winning all them races. We had a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun, and some of it you're not going to hear. Needless to say, we just had a great time. I've always ran a team like, I'm an NFL person that likes to watch the NFL, but I like to watch the coaches in the NFL. I don't really, the coaches put the whole team together, and it's kind of like, I always felt that was my job, was to have all the players in line. You have to have the tire changes, you have to have the fuel man, you have to have everybody in line to win a race. There is no one person that wins that race. It's not the driver, it's not the crew chief, it's the whole team. And the whole team starts right at the shop, like somebody else had already mentioned here today. You have to spend countless hours working on that car to make sure that nothing flies off of it. And one of the things that was brought up that my cars didn't break, well, owning Northeast Race Cars, if stuff started falling off of my cars, it doesn't reflect on me, it reflects on Northeast Race Cars, and that's not good for business, so we had to pay special attention to all that. I was always a firm believer that somebody had to drive the car fast and somebody had to make it go fast. And I know there's been a couple of exceptions out there that people were able to do it out of the cockpit, call the shots of pitting and not pitting, or what to do for chassis changes, but that doesn't work that well in my book. I've always been a person that felt that somebody had to be the boss, and I was happy to be that person. I was lucky enough to have a lot of great crew members follow me. Even when I got out, I would get out for a few years, I'd get back in, and I would race again and win again. And that's because I had a lot of the same crew members that would come along with me. So I think that the biggest thing to do is surround yourself with great people if you want to win races. I had drivers like my old friend Archie Sherman, who we talked about, Seekonk Speedway. He passed away recently. He was a great mentor for me back in the old Vinny Anarumo days and when we were together. We had Mike Sawyer, which was a dear friend of mine. He didn't stay in the sport too long, but we won races together. Then there was Wayne Dion. In 1985, we won 10 races alone at Thompson Speedway and won the championship by over 500 points. We could have stayed home the last 4 races, and that was a pretty good accomplishment. And he showed up with his crew to work on that car when we did put the deal together, and his crew's still with him. I could see that, and it's nice to see you guys again. We had people like Ricky Fuller. That was always an adventure. We won a lot of races, didn't we? We won 4 in a row at Stafford. We wouldn't show up for every week because he was running the U2 on a modified tour. So we would show up when we could. So we had to start 23rd, 24th. We would go around and warn everybody, get out of my way because I'm coming. We won 4 in a row like that, and won a few at Thompson, and we had some good times together. Then, of course, there was the championships with Teddy Christopher, which he was too tough to tame for a lot of people, and everybody thought we were like oil and water when we were racing together. We actually got along really well together racing, and he respected me, I respected him. We didn't go out for dinner with our wives, but we did race hard together, and we were a tough team to beat. We won the championship in '88 and '89 at Thompson Speedway, back when I owned my own cars, and then I moved on to Jeff Fuller, which was mentioned earlier, and was actually with the John Sneed 55 car, which was ugly as sin, and we showed up at Martinsville, and we set fast time, and we won the race and led all 200 laps. They said we couldn't make it on fuel, we couldn't make it on a lot of things, but we did, the same set of tires, and of course NASCAR took everything apart on it because the SK guys can't go to Martinsville and win, and we won there, and then we won tons of races. John Sneed was a great car owner, then Sheba Racing was born. That was in 1990. In 1992 we won the championship together. Chris Kopech, I raced with him, won races. He's a great guy, everybody loves him. Mike Unisco, I mean, how can you not like Mike? Mike was one of the greatest guys. We won races everywhere with him, Stafford and Martinsville and all over. Jimmy Blewett, well, he's a tough one. Another tough one to tame. Then came Teddy again in 2006, the end of 2006 we got together, and there was one time at Stafford Speedway, you know, whenever they announced Teddy Christopher, of course, half the crowd booed, half the crowd cheered, you know. So we're at Stafford and they're doing in-car introductions, and Teddy's sitting in the car and they announce him and everybody cheers. So I clicked the radio. I says, "Hey, Teddy, did you hear that?" He goes, "Yeah, what do you think's up with that?" I says, "They must know I'm on the team." You're shot. He was a great guy to race with. Then there was, another guy that we knew each other forever, but didn't know each other, and that was Mike Stefanik. We both lived in Rhode Island. There was more rumors that we were getting together for 25 years. Oh, they're getting together, they're getting together. Well, I never even talked to the guy. You know, we see each other, we'd wave. I have to beat him, he has to beat me. That's how I looked at it, you know, and it's like we went there to socialize. And I got to race with Mike and found out what kind of a guy that Mike Stefanik really was. And he's been up to the beach house with us, and him and Julie, and really, really great people, and it's a tragic accident that happened to him. And, we won a lot of races together. We won Bristol, we won Loudon, we won Thompson, we won all over the place. Then with the Outlaw car, with the 66 with Eddie Marceau, everywhere we showed up, we won with that. And he was a great driver, and that's why he's a 9-time champion. And then we moved on again. After Mike was Tommy Barrett. Tommy's a great little driver, and it's too bad that it didn't work out. He won Bristol, Tennessee for us, being a rookie and never even seeing the place. 18 years old, started 18th, drove to the front, and him and Ryan Newman were going at it for a little bit there, and it was kind of fun to watch the kid drive. And hopefully he still keeps going. And after that, we started just doing the parts trailers, and we were at Seekonk for that last tri-track race. And ironically, I sold Northeast Race Cars a few weeks ago. Everybody wants to know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be around. I'm going to be around the racetracks. I sold it to a real good friend of mine. He's only a couple of miles from my place. So I will be with him quite a bit, and at the racetracks quite a bit for all our customers still, and for everybody there. You know, when I first started in this business, I learned a lot. My mentor was Bob Cuneo from Chassis Dynamics. And I told him that once before, and he was like shocked. He says, nobody ever tells me that, you know, and I just learned a lot of things from him, and he was a great guy. And Val Lasur, I'm really sorry he's not here. He's my buddy. I wish he was here. He's got some good pictures of me. And I'd like to thank my family and everybody else and all my friends and the staff that was here. And I'd like to thank everybody from NEAR for this honor. Thank you.